Good morning, students. In the last session, yesterday, we were witness to a conversation between Macduff and Malcolm. To remind you, Macduff had run away from Scotland and he has come to England. He is right at this moment in meeting with Malcolm. Malcolm, who is the older son of Duncan. And Malcolm, who had taken refuge in England when he himself escaped from Scotland when his father was murdered. Macduff has come here with the intention of convincing Malcolm to go back to Scotland with him so that they can remove the tyrant, meaning Macbeth, from the throne of Scotland, and in his place to anoint Malcolm as the King of Scotland. Initially, Malcolm is suspicious of Macduff. He believes that Macduff could have been sent as a decoy to trick Malcolm back to Scotland. But once he is convinced that Macduff comes with good intentions, he agrees to go back with him. But all those details have not yet been worked out. Just as they were talking, enter a doctor. And the doctor mentions the King of England and the powers that he has. Now Macduff is curious. Once the doctor leaves, Macduff wants to know what is the disease he means. What disease is he talking about? Malcolm explains, it is called the evil. The evil means under the spell of an evil spirit. हमारे इंडियन कल्चर में भी आप देखते होंगे कई बार लोग मानते हैं कि भूत प्रेत चढ़ गया किसी के ऊपर, कोई भूत किसी के शरीर में प्रवेश कर गया, something like that. Okay, even in Western cultures they had this belief, they still do in many cultures. And the King of England cures people, finds a remedy for those who are suffering from this condition. Says, a most miraculous work in this good king. That is Edward's healing touch. King Edward's healing touch is a miracle that which often since my hair remain in England I have seen him do. Often means many times. Many times since my hair remain means since my stay here in England I have seen him do. Do means perform. I have seen King Edward perform this miracle. How he solicits heaven. Solicits heaven means receives this gift from heaven. This is a gift that heaven here means God has given him. Himself best knows. Only he knows how he has got this gift. But strangely visited people, all swollen and ulcerous, pitiful to the eye, the mere despair of surgery he cures. It is. But he cures people with strange conditions. He cures them with strange conditions. All swollen and plagued by ulcers. Swollen means their body is bloated. सूजन आ गई है शरीर में. And there are ulcers. Ulcers means boils. शरीर पे में जो फोड़े फुंसी हो जाते हैं उनको अल्सर्स कहते हैं. Pitiful to the eye, that is you cannot look at those patients. He cures them. They are very pitiful to look at them, and they are the mere despair of surgery. Even surgery has failed. Even surgery has failed to cure them, but he successfully cures them and gives them relief. Hanging a golden stamp upon their necks. Golden stamp means a medal. he makes them wear a medal by placing a gold coin or a stamp around their necks, put on with holy prayers. And as he makes them wear that medal hanging from a chain maybe, he says holy prayers over them. कुछ अगर हम हिंदी में समझें तो वो मंत्र उच्चार करते हैं और फिर उनको वो मेडल पहना देते हैं. And it is spoken and it is said to the succeeding royalty, he leaves the healing benediction. That is, it is said that the succeeding generations have also inherited this blessing to cure people. यानी कि ऐसा कहा जाता है कि ये जो ईश्वर का आशीर्वाद है उनके पास ही नहीं है, उनके आने वाली पीढ़ियों के पास भी ये आशीर्वाद है. Which means that maybe his son has all the same ability, and maybe he also must be having more than one son or grandchildren, grandsons. They all have inherited this gift of God which helps to cure people who are suffering. In other words, it has been handed down. This blessing to heal has been handed down from one generation to the next. The healing benediction means the blessing to heal. With this strange virtue, not just this, along with this strange power, he hath a heavenly gift of prophecy. He also has the gift to predict the future. Prophecy means to look into the future and to predict the future, and sundry blessings hang about his throne. And sundry means and various other blessings hang around about his throne that speak him full of grace. In other words, all these signs mark him as a man who is graced or blessed by God. Just then enter Ross Macduff. See, who comes here? So Malcolm recognizes him and he says, my countryman, but yet I know him not. Now, the Scottish people wore very different clothes from those of Englishmen and maybe Irishmen. Scots, the traditional clothes that they wore, even the men, they wore pleated skirts which reached around their knees, a blouse with a jacket over it, and a cap or a hat. So Malcolm says that from his dress I recognize him as a Scotsman, but I don't know who he is. I don't recognize him as such. So Macduff knows him. My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither. My noble kinsman, welcome. Macduff knows who has come. I know him now. Malcolm maybe looks at him closely and he says, yes, now I recognize him. Good God, betimes remove the means that makes us strangers. Remove means change or alter. That is, may God change the circumstances that keeps us apart. Each one, in other words, is wary of any newcomer. कोई भी आने वाले, हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, आगंतुक को देखकर सब डर रहे हैं. मैलकॉम मैकडफ को देखकर घबराता है और अब रॉस के आने से भी वो घबरा गए हैं. अब वो ये दुआ कर रहे हैं कि काश, hopefully soon the situation or the circumstances will change and we will no longer distrust one another. It's a kind of prayer. So Ross says, Sir, Amen. That is, may it be so, sir. And he says, hello. Macduff, stands Scotland where it did? Now Macduff first wants the report and he wants to know what is happening in Scotland. Is Scotland the same as when I left it? Ross, alas, poor country. He's sad. So he says, sadly, yes. Our country still suffers. Please mark these words of Ross for reference. It still suffers. Almost afraid to know itself. That is, it is too frightened to even look at itself. It cannot be called our mother. We can no longer use the word motherland for our country. Why? Scotland, in other words, is no longer the land where we were born, because a mother is supposed to provide protection and love. And in Scotland, everyone feels unsafe. There is tremendous insecurity. People are suspicious of one another, and there is no love at all. So drastically, the scene in Scotland has changed. He says, it cannot be called our mother, but our grave. Instead, we should call it a grave. It is the land where we will die. It is no longer the land where we were born. Instead, it has become the land where we will die. Where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile. Where no one ever smiles except only a fool smiles. No one else smiles except for a fool. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked. Rend the air means rip through the air. Where the only sounds you can hear are people sighing or groaning or shrieking. Shriek means to cry aloud. Hindi में चीख या चिंगाड़ना. They rip through the air, but nobody notices. Are made but not marked. यानी कि आवाज़ें सुनाई देती हैं बट कोई ध्यान नहीं देता, क्योंकि ये तो रोज़ होता है. हर थोड़ी थोड़ी देर में चीख पुकार सुनाई देती है, लेकिन कोई ध्यान नहीं देता. Where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. Where violent sorrow, violent meaning deep, where deep sorrow seems a modern ecstasy, means it is a common emotion. The entire population of the country is suffering with sorrow. Sorrow is the only common emotion shared by all. The dead man's knell is there scarce asked for, who and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken. Now, let us understand the word knell. Among Christians, the church bell is rung particularly on 3 occasions. Of course, when somebody is born, the bell rings in a particular way and everybody knows that some child is born. Secondly, when somebody gets married, it is rung. Again, the sound is very joyful. Listeners can know that somebody has got married in the church. And the third occasion when the church bell rings is when somebody dies. The sound of the church bell on the death of somebody is known as knell, Knee. What Ross is trying to say is that when the funeral bells ring, people no longer ask who died. Why? Because the bell is ringing so often, every day, every few hours maybe, that people hardly stop and ask who has died. And good men's lives expire. Expire means good men die before the flower in their caps can wilt. before the flowers in their caps become wilt means before they dry, dying or ere they sicken. That is, they die before they even fall sick. Macduff, O relation, too nice and yet too true. O relation means, oh, your report is too nice, too poetic, in other words, too descriptive, and but it sounds so true. Malcolm, what is the newest grief? What is the latest news? So Ross answers, that of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Even news that is an hour old is old news. Every hour, not just every hour, every minute, each minute teems a new one. Each minute is full of awful things that happen, bad things that happen. So Macduff wants to know, how does my wife? How is my wife? And Ross answers, why, well, she's well. And all of my children? What about my children? Well too. Macduff, the tyrant was not battered, has not battered at their peace. Macbeth has not attacked them yet. The tyrant means Macbeth. He has not attacked them yet. So Ross answers, no, they were well at peace when I did leave them. That is, all was well when I left them. Macduff is unhappy with these short answers and he says, be not a niggard of your speech. Niggard means stingy. Don't be stingy with your words. How goes it? What is the news? Tell me the truth. So Ross answers, when I came hither to transport the tidings. Ross answers, when I came hither to transport the tidings. Hither means here. While I was coming here to tell you the sad news. Transport the tidings means to tell you the sad news. What sad news? Of the murder of your wife and sons, which I have heavenly borne. This sad news I have carried with me. There ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out. There were rumors that many good men are arming themselves to rebel against Macbeth. That many worthy men, capable men who are still alive, they are preparing themselves to rebel against Macbeth, which was, to my belief, witnessed the rather for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. In other words, when I saw Macbeth's army on the move, I knew the rumors must be true. He had seen the preparations that Macbeth's army was making. The soldiers were ordered to march. The battalions were collecting themselves. I realized that the rumors I heard must be true. Now is the time of help. Now is the time when we need your help. He's answering Malcolm. Malcolm had asked him, what is the latest news? So we need your help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses. Your eye means your presence. Your presence in Scotland would be enough to inspire people to fight. To create soldiers means to inspire people to fight. Not just that, to make our women fight. Even the women would be ready to fight. Why? To rid themselves, to doff their dire. Doff means to take off, to remove. To rid themselves. Dire means terrible. Distresses. Distresses means oppression or unhappiness. That is, even the women would fight to rid themselves of Macbeth's oppression. So Malcolm reassures Ross and he says, "Be it their comfort, we are coming hither. Let them be comforted. I am returning to Scotland. Gracious England," gracious England means the King of England, "hath lent us good Seward and 10,000 men." He has allowed me, he has lent us good Seward. Now, Seward perhaps is the son, actually, he could be the son of King Edward, or he could be a nobleman of England. And under the leadership of Good Seward, the King of England has offered 10,000 soldiers. He has given to me. An older and a better soldier none that Christendom gives out. There is no soldier who is more experienced or successful than Seward in the entire Christian world. Seward is a very seasoned, experienced soldier. Hearing this, Ross answers, "Would I could answer this comfort with the like." Would means I wish I could answer this comforting news, this good news, with the same words of if I had good news of my own. But I have words, but I have news that would be howled out in the desert air. That is, but I have some news that should be howled out in the barren desert where hearing should not latch them, where nobody can hear it. So Macduff says, "What concern they? What is this news about? The general cause? Does it affect all of us? Or is it a fee grief due to some single breast? Or just to one of us? Or is it a grief related to, is it for one person alone?" Ross answers, "No mind that is honest." Honest means decent. Anybody, no decent man, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone. Ross means to say, no decent man can keep from sharing in the sorrow, but my news affects you alone, if it is related to you alone. So Macduff answers, "If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly let me have it. If the news is for me, don't keep it from me. Don't hide it from me. Quickly tell me, what is it?" So Ross, in a way, he's preparing Macduff to hear the worst. And he says, "Let not your ears despise my tongue forever." In other words, when you hear the sad news, don't allow your ears to hate my tongue. I hope you won't hate me forever after I say these things, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound. Possess means fill, and them means your ears, because I will soon fill your ears with the most dreadful sound. Heaviest sound means dreadful or saddest news that ever yet they heard. The most dreadful news that you have ever heard. Meaning, nothing is worse than what I have to tell you. Macduff, I guess at it. I think I can guess what you are about to say. So then Ross gives him the detail and he says, "Your castle is surprised." Means there was a surprise attack on your castle. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. Your wife and children were all brutally killed. To relate the manner were on the query of these murdered deer to add the death of you. If I told you how they were killed, if I told you the manner in which they died, then it would cause you so much pain that it would kill you too, and add your body to the pile of murdered corpses. To add the death of you means only merely listening to how they died, the manner in which they died, you would die too, and your body would be added to all those murdered lying in Scotland. Now Malcolm responds, merciful heaven. As soon as Macduff hears this, he turns away and he hides his face in his hat because he is unable to hold back his tears. But Malcolm tells him, come on, man. What, man? Never pull your hat upon your brows. Don't keep your grief hidden. Give sorrow words. Put your sorrow into words. Express your sorrow. Let your tears flow. The grief that does not speak whispers the overfraught heart. That is, if you keep your grief inside you, you will whisper in your heart and it will break until it breaks, bids it breaks. In other words, you have to cleanse yourself. You have to purify yourself by shedding tears. This is known as catharsis. Catharsis. Catharsis is a Greek word which in English means to purify. I think we all understand this, that अगर हमारा दिल या मन बहुत दुखी होता है, ऐसा लगता है हमारे दिल पे कोई बोझ रखा हुआ है, पत्थर रखा हुआ है, लेकिन अगर हम आंसू बहा लेते हैं, रो लेते हैं, उसके बाद हम हल्का फील करते हैं. That is known as catharsis, the shedding of the tears to lighten your heart. So, allow the tears to come, otherwise your heart will break. Macduff is still not able to come to terms and he questions, my children too? They killed my children too? And Ross answers, wife, children, servants, and all that could be found. The entire household of Macduff, your wife, your children, your servants, anyone who could be found was put to death. And I must be from thence, and I was not there to protect them. My wife killed too. So Ross says, I have said, I have just told you. Malcolm, be comforted, take comfort. Let make us medicines of our great revenge. That is, let us cure this awful grief by taking revenge on Macbeth to cure this deadly grief. We have to remove this deep-seated grief from our hearts. And how can we do it? When we take revenge from our common enemy, and that is Macduff. Okay, we'll break off here for today. Continue in the next session. Thank you.